Hi! Now this video today is probably going to be more suitable for those of you who have never plucked or waxed or threaded your eyebrows before, teenagers even. I'm finding more parents are actually coming to me at the moment and asking me to give advice to their teenage daughters and sons on how to do eyebrows. So hopefully in this little tutorial I'll be able to show you how you do them and how you shouldn't do them. Now I've got a friend of ours, Alice, here. Alice is you are 16, aren't you? Yeah, she is 16. And Alice has always loved eyebrows. For years you've been having a little fiddle, haven't you, at home? And she has got gorgeous eyebrows, luckily. About a year ago we did a little party here and we had a tutorial on how to do eyebrows for teenagers. So luckily Alice listened, didn't you? So she's been looking after them, but unfortunately I think what a lot of young people do is play around in the bedroom with their friends or their mates do their own eyebrows, etc. and then things start going wrong. So I want to show you how to do them properly. Once you start over plucking your eyebrows, they don't grow back. I overplucked mine 20-30 years ago and I have to fill them in every day now. I shouldn't have to because I should just go out, but I just get so paranoid about my eyebrows. I love having them a little bit fuller. I always find if your eyebrows are kept fuller, it frames the face, so it lifts the eyes. It acts like a scaffolding in a way, it sort of holds the face up. And as you get older, I think it's like a mini facelift as well. If your eyebrows are structured and defined, it will lift the eyes straight away. Now we have a little problem with Alice. Her mum tells me that she's often late for school and she misses the bus. Am I right, Alice?
Yes.
Yes, because she's playing around with her eyebrows. Now, one thing I haven't tried on Alice before is tinting her eyebrows. And I don't always recommend it unless you really need it or when you're older. But I think with Alice what it will do is save her a lot of time in the morning. So by tinting the eyebrows with the lightest brown, it should last about 4 to 6 weeks and that will actually give a bit more definition. So when she is going to school in the morning, she shouldn't have to be penciling in or putting the shadow on as well, so it should save a little bit of time. But it is something I tend to recommend, you know, as you're older. If you go for an eyebrow tint, you must have a patch test, so a tint test. It's so important to make sure that you don't have a reaction to the tint. So any salon you go, and make sure you do go to a proper salon to have it done, don't do it at home. And it's got to be a tint for the eyelashes or the eyebrows. Never use head tint on your eyes, ever. So I'm going to use a very light brown today, and I think it'll just give a little bit more definition. So before I go on to the tint, I'm actually going to show you where to pluck from, because we have got a little rule with plucking the eyebrows. Okay. Right, so I always say treat eyebrows as sisters, not twins. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're never meant to be identical. Remember that. I think we spend too much time trying to get both eyebrows looking exactly the same, and they never meant to. One of my eyebrows, if you can see, is actually higher than the other one. And I've got one lazy eye. You're going to be looking all the time now. So, you know, make sure you remember that they are sisters and not twins. Now, I always usually start by brushing very gently the eyebrows up. Now, if you did have long ones, which I know a lot of women and men worry about them, where they're really long, you can trim them. But again, what I would do is go somewhere professionally to have them done the first time. If you start trimming them with scissors yourself, that's when things will go wrong. But I tend to only trim them unless you have to. Yours are great because once we just brush them, they sit nicely, okay? Now, so I want to show everyone where we measure from. So inside corner of the eye and the edge of the nose, I'm going to just prop a stick now, make sure I'm not going up your nose, and we go straight up. Can you see where the stick is? That's exactly where the eyebrow should be started from. Now, if there's any hairs on this side of the stick, all of those hairs could be taken away. And again on the other side, corner of the nose, inside of the eye. Can you see? Now there are a few, you know you've got little, it's like a cow's lick that you have in the hair sometimes. They just stick up a little bit more. So again, we could ever so slightly trim the top off, but I don't think we need to. All I'm going to do is pluck a few from the inside here, okay? Now, where the eyebrow, the tail of the eyebrow should finish, we go from the corner of the nose, eye, in a straight line, and that's exactly where the tail should finish. Now, if you found there were any just underneath this stick, those can be plucked away. Never take that tail too short. I've seen so many times where the stick is up here somewhere and they've got a tiny little tail. So make sure that that tail goes all the way down, because again that will frame the eyes. And again on the other side, nose, corner of the eye, perfect. Right, so we can see here there's a few little stray hairs just underneath the natural line. Those are the eyebrows we're going to remove today. I don't want to touch any of the natural line here, especially with you being so young. We are only going to take the eyebrows that need to come from there, that perhaps aren't doing anything for the shape at all, okay? I've got a lovely arch up here as well. So underneath, few on the inside, and that's it today. Now, before I actually go and pluck them, I'm going to put the tint on. So you've had a patch test, so we know you're okay. Tint, I'm literally going to leave it on for seconds. If you leave it on too long, even up to a minute, sometimes it can go too dark. I would much rather leave them on for seconds, take the tint off. If we find it's not changed at all, well, we can put more on. But if you leave it on too long, it's too dark, there's nothing we can do about it. I think you'd feel happy about that as well, wouldn't you? Yeah. So tint on first, and then after the tint, I like to do tint first, then the sort of plucking after, because the follicles are going to be open. So we don't want to be then putting tint into the follicles once we've taken the hair out. Okay, so tint first, then I'm going to be plucking today. I might do a little bit of threading as well. Threading is much more natural for the skin. It's kinder to the skin than waxing, really. Though I've been waxing for 25 years, I find now that threading, for younger skins, I prefer to either pluck them or thread them, because it's not actually pulling the skin at all. Fine if you want to wax when you're older, if you've got more hair there. But with you only having an odd little one, I would just say no, pluck them and a little bit of threading. Okay? You're nice and relaxed?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've done Alice's eyebrows, just a little tidy up with a very light tint. I have told her that she's got to start filling in, letting the little hairs grow on the inside. She's overplucked a little bit on the inside. The shape itself is coming nice. Yeah, lovely, happy with them? Yes, thank you. Brilliant. So make sure if it's your first time, get to the salon to have them done professionally. Don't start fiddling yourself. And whatever you do, never put a razor near your eyebrows like lots do, or any imac depilatory creams, anything like that. I hope you've learned something. Until next time, see you soon.